as all of you are aware that a couple of weeks back there was a very tragic incident in Pahalgam in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, in which several civilians were killed. Since then, Pakistan has been blamed by the Indian government for being somehow involved in this very tragic incident. The facts of the case is that this incident lasted for over 40 minutes. And within the first 5-10 minutes, the Indian authorities started blaming Pakistani-backed militants. Now, where this incident happened, the distance from the LOC where our armies are stationed, it is 206 kilometers inside Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir region. So this is over 200 kilometers of mountainous, hilly terrain. There are 900,000 troops stationed in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. There's an Indian checkpost at every 100 meters. So one begs to question that how can such infiltration take place from the LOC, and such people can travel 200 plus kilometers and not get detected by Indian occupying forces. This is something which no rational mind is trying to, ready to accept. Moving on, India immediately took the unilateral and illegal action of suspending the Indus Water Treaty. This Indus Water Treaty basically guarantees rivers between India and Pakistan. Now, this one measure itself is very dangerous, because the idea behind the suspension is to try and stop waters coming into Pakistan which are rightfully ours. And this escalation by India is just continuing. We have tried to show restraint. We have tried to show reason and patience. But 1.5 days back, in the middle of the night, Indian armed forces attacked civilian targets in Pakistan. That this cowardly action by the Indian forces against civilian targets is just abhorrent. So far, we have women, children, and even little babies who have been killed. Our forces responded in self-defense to this Indian action, and all of you have seen that we shot down 5 of their aircrafts, including their much famous Rafales. And this is the first time in modern warfare history that Rafale has been shot down in air-to-air combat. We shot down 3 Rafales. We shot down 1 Sukhoi 30 and 1 MiG-29. We also shot down several high-tech drones. And this is just the first night. Our response even then was to engage targets that released payloads against the Pakistani targets. We could have taken down several other aircraft, but we again, even in the heat of the battle, we remained. Our response remained measured. But unfortunately, this cycle, this escalation does not seem to be ending. Early this morning, India started another attack on Pakistani soil through drones. Now the fact is that their air force is not even ready to fly the aircraft and even bring it close to our borders, because the pounding they got yesterday. This trend is this unprecedented measure of deploying UAVs against civilian populations, civilian targets in Pakistan, is very dangerous. As of right now, we have shot down over 2 dozen drones. If I'm not mistaken, 25 I think drones we have shot down so far, and this trend is continuing. And let me just add another very dangerous thing, and a very dangerous and unprecedented thing which India did was it shelled the Neelam Jhelum hydropower project, and that is in Azad Jammu Kashmir. Targeting water reservoirs is unprecedented, because after the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty illegally by the Indian occupation forces, now if you target Pakistan's water reservoirs and resources, what sort of escalation are you thinking of taking this conflict to? And all of this is happening while the entire world community is waiting for any evidence from India of Pakistan being involved. My leadership from the start has asked India to conduct an open, impartial, international investigation into the matter. We have even offered that we can be part of this international investigation. The world has not received any response. The Secretary General UN has asked India to avoid any escalatory measures, avoid any unilateral measures, and conduct a thorough inquiry. Again, no response from India. So, I would take this opportunity to thank the government of Azerbaijan, brotherly people of Azerbaijan, for the tremendous support we have received on this very, very dangerous escalation by India. Your government has also condemned Indian government for carrying out such aggression against innocent civilians in Pakistan, and have advised, like all other responsible governments around the world, that India should refrain from further escalation. But unfortunately, Indian regime right now, the fascist regime right now, is not listening to voice of reason. So I would take this opportunity through all of you to basically impress upon everybody that this region is going towards a very dangerous phase, and this escalation is going towards a very dangerous phase. Pakistan and India are both nuclear powers, and it is very scary for me as a citizen of South Asia, that when the Indian government and the Indian cabinet openly says that they are ready to use nuclear weapons against Pakistan, such irrational, illogical and dangerous statements are itself a crime and a form of international terrorism. Pakistan will not allow India to weaponize water, which India has actually done now. So it is all the more reason now for the international community and media such as yourself to highlight the need for rationality and peace. Because God forbid, if this conflict escalates the way India is now trying to manipulate, it will not just affect the South Asian region. It will have much broader implications. So I would through your presence over here, I would request the international community and all the peace-loving people of Azerbaijan to continue to join Pakistan in trying to convince this very irrational mode of thinking in the Indian government and to adopt a voice of reason and adopt a voice of peace. You must have seen the statements of support that Pakistan is getting. The Honorable President of Turkey, the entire government of Turkey, the people of Turkey immediately condemned any aggression against Pakistan. Your government immediately asked the Indian government to refrain from any unilateral action. But unfortunately, any country that is trying to encourage India to adopt a path of peace or take a saner course of action is being taken in a very negative way by the Indian government, and that is very unfortunate. That no good constructive advice is being considered by the Indian government. So this again questions whether such a regime, such a fascist regime in India, can even be trusted with the lethal powers of having nuclear arms. This frustration, growing frustration in India, I mean, after yesterday's beating, yes, I mean, one can understand the frustration and the scare that is there with their, in their armed forces, that they're using now UAVs, is simply because of frustration that even their traditional allies, and I don't want to name the countries, are not coming out openly supporting India, because I think everybody is very sick and tired of India always blaming Pakistan for their own incompetence and not even giving a shred of evidence to support their allegations. So how long can even the bestest of friends tolerate such Indian behavior? And how can they justify supporting a country that is basing all their allegations against it's based on lies? So I think this is also adding to the Indian frustration right now. I have not seen any such statement, so I would really not want to comment. But again, coming back to the point that if any voice of reason or logic is taken in such an irrational manner, then one needs to question that what is the motive behind this regime escalating the situation. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I really can't understand what is going through Mr. Modi's mind. But it is right now it is devoid of any logic or any reasoning. We appreciate President Trump's offer, and even he said that things need to cool down now. So we welcome this offer, and if I recall correctly, he even offered that he is willing to play his part if that helps in cooling things down and resolving the differences that we have. See, this is the important point, that world leaders, real world leaders, know that dialogue is the key. Any progress can be made through dialogue, not through conflict. But unfortunately, this current regime in India is choosing a path, a very dangerous path of escalation and conflict. We really don't understand the Modi regime's fixation with anti-Muslim, anti-religious minority in India. A large, I mean, I would like to consider that majority of Indians are peace-loving citizens. They're peace-loving people. But when a regime comes into power whose ideology is of hate, they get votes by showing how many Muslims they have killed or how many religious minorities they have persecuted. This itself is a foundation of nothing but hate. The current Prime Minister is the same person who, when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, government-backed massacre was carried out against Muslims. This is how this fascist regime is getting votes of the fundamentalist elements in India. In Indian illegally occupied Kashmir, pellet guns are used against children to make them blind. Rape is used as a weapon. And as I have mentioned earlier, these are facts. Anybody can go on the internet and search these facts. If due to very petty and very small economic reasons, if some very important and big countries choose to avoid questioning India for their illegal and barbaric actions, then that is just unfortunate. The world saw what silence towards evil did, and World War II is proof. So again, I would say that around the world, every true leader has asked the Indian government to, one, share evidence, two, do not take unilateral action. Because my leadership is very clear that now we reserve the right, after this Indian aggression, to respond at a time, in a manner, and in a method that we decide. Why was the world silent on Armenia's occupation of Azerbaijani territories? So, I mean, and very powerful countries staying silent on Armenia being armed. It is unfortunate that some important countries choose their priorities in a method which becomes very dangerous for others. Same is now happening in the case of the escalation now. But the difference in this escalation is that Indian side is being challenged by the international community. Indian side is being asked to provide evidence. The world is not buying their baseless allegations against Pakistan. So, but I guess the fundamental part of your question is we need to really question the moral silence of important world players when international law and international justice is not being followed, and that forces countries to take action on their own to ensure that their rights are protected and that their rights are restored. So, as a diplomat, I would hope that the international system strengthens. UN takes a more proactive role in not just in resolving the Jammu and Kashmir dispute, but other disputes as well. We are ready for an open, constructive dialogue with India, but for that to happen, the mindset needs to change. India is not a regional superpower, and that thinking that thinking of superiority needs to change. That it is still a developing country, and their armed forces capacity and capability has been shown to the world without even before the conflict has started. So yes, I mean there is hope for peace always, but that is through dialogue, and I really hope and wish that the Indian government cools things down and sit down with Pakistan and the Kashmiris and try to find a lasting solution to the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. It depends on India. It depends on India. We have, if you look at history, Pakistan has never initiated aggression against India. It is since our independence, since the first war we had in 1948, it is the Indian aggression has been instigated against Pakistan by the Indian forces. And then when they start getting a thrashing, then they run to the UN that there should be ceasefire. This is all on record. So again, right now it is India which started this illegal, irrational escalation, a very dangerous escalation. Suspension of Indus Water Treaty, which is absolutely illegal. The treaty is guaranteed by the World Bank. How can you threaten a country that we will stop your basic right, and that is water, and then expect that you can get away with it? It can't happen. This is a crime against humanity. Just this idea is just sickening for any human being, that you are threatening 240 million people that we are going to stop your water, and you expect that there will not be any reaction. So we are ready. We are ready for dialogue. We are ready for peace. We are ready to take any path that India wants to take, peace or God forbid otherwise. But now it is their call. The most dangerous part of this escalation is Indian government's very reckless and dangerous weaponization of water, and trying to use water as a force of coercion. For us, this is a form of international terrorism, cross-border terrorism by India against Pakistan. Indian proxies are attacking Pakistani troops, are civilians, for decades. Their agents are arrested in Pakistan. We have shared dossiers with the international community with proof of Indian active involvement, their funding, their planning terrorist actions against Pakistan. But the attempt to weaponize water is the single most dangerous element of this entire escalation. I think the French are ashamed that they sold their Rafales to India. Yesterday, Rafale stock, I mean, the Dassault company's share went down. So I think after this, every country would consider whether they should even sell anything to India, because I mean, the Indian forces are a joke, and they're going to make the country's products a joke as well. But having said that, any country, after seeing what India is doing to kids, to women, it is a question of having a moral high ground. I would not want to name any one particular country. Today's drones being used against Pakistan, the UAVs, all have been shot down. This just shows the frustration that the Indian government is now facing on things. But yes, coming to your point, I would not want to name any one particular country, but I would want to say that if a country is so irrational, is so incompetent, then I would not want to even sell them a knife, let alone any weapon systems. We would welcome any voice that lends its support to peace. We are happy to see that the international community and sincere friends like Azerbaijan, like Turkey, like China, like countries in the GCC, in Europe, are calling for restraint, are calling for dialogue, are condemning unilateral action against civilians, kids, mosques by Indian forces. In yesterday's action that they did, mosques were bombed, civilian homes were bombed. So we welcome all these voices of peace, but Now the question is that peace is knocking on India's door, but it is up to the fascist Modi regime that whether they will open this, call for peace or not. That is up to them, because under the UN Charter, after what India has done, Pakistan reserves the right to retaliate at a time, a place, and method that now my leadership will decide. And I will just add one small thing to this. You see, we are at a very disadvantageous situation that India can fire their weapons with impunity without caring that who gets killed on the other side. But our forces are professional enough that we do not want such reckless action or reaction from our side. So in any such actions, our hands always get tied to ensure that innocent Indian civilians do not get killed. And especially in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, we have to be extra careful because the people are already oppressed by the Indian forces. So when they open their fire, the spread is so lethal, and the spread is so broad, we have to respond in a very calibrated manner. So our hands always remain tied because we cannot commit such crimes like Indian forces are doing, even in conflict. We are sincerely grateful to Azerbaijan and Turkey and the people of both these brotherly countries for the genuine support that we are seeing. The letters and emails of support that we have received from Azerbaijani, brotherly people of Azerbaijan. This is a great source of strength, and this again just adds on to that hope that there is voice of reason which is trying to make India understand and listen, and I hope that India does and takes the path of peace. Thank you.